Boys and girls, after you have woven 10 rows of straight weave, you're ready to start the next weave, which is called basket weave. I happen to be finished with my yarn, so I need to use the square knot and tie it together. Then I'm going to attach my needle like we've been doing each time. Take my needle and tie a knot to my needle. And now I'm ready to continue weaving. I'm flipping it over to the next side. And on the next side, instead of doing under one string, over one string, I'm going to go over two strings, under one string, over two strings, under one string, over two strings, under one, under two, over two, under two, over two, all the way across. Now, sometimes when you do this, you may find a glitch, and that's because I have an odd number of strings. No worries, I continue my pattern, under two, and then I just go over one instead of two. Pull my yarn through, all the way tight, pack it down, flip my board to the next side. You're going to be doing 10 rows of basket weave, under two, over two, 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 and all the way through the end. This one, no glitch. I had an even amount of strings. Pull it through, flip my board, and now I'm going to look at it. Last time I was here, I went over these strings. So this time I'm going to go under the strings, over the strings, under the strings, over. Opposite pattern all the way across. Now, if I remember, this is the side where I had the glitch. So let's see how it ends up this time. Over two, under two, over two, and yep, here it is. Here's the odd one. I'm just going to shoot under it because that's where my pattern's leaving off. Pull it through and continue to the other side. On the other side, I have to go opposite. Last time I was here, I went over these, so this time I'll go under two, over two, and continue. You're going to weave basket weave pattern of over two warp strings or under two warp strings, 10 rows. Good luck. All right, so I've done 10 rows of straight weave, 10 rows of basket weave. It's time to get a little fancy now. We're going to make a square or a rectangle in the middle of our project. This is going to be a dovetailing weaving. And so I'm going to draw with a Sharpie a square or a rectangle, whichever shape you want, in the middle of my board on my warp strings. Okay, it's a pretty sad marker. See if I can get a better line. There we go. And I have taken my yarn off of the end. I unthreaded my needle, and I threaded my needle with a new piece of yarn, and I'm going to jump right into the box. So I'm going to take my needle. My yarn is not tied to anything, just like I did in the very beginning of my project, and I'm going to do under, over, single weave across these warp strings, only inside of the square or rectangle. And I'm going to pull, oops, I got a knot in there. Let's take that knot out. That'll just be a hassle later. Pull, 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 pull. See, I have that little tail. It gets tied to nothing. The tail just stays floating here. Then I weave back, only inside the warp strings that are part of the square or rectangle. Back and forth in this little space of the weaving. Opposite rows. You'll find that if you are not doing opposites, your weaving's going to just pull right out. And that is an easy way to figure out whether or not you're weaving it correctly. I'll show you what I mean by that. I'll do my next row, not an opposite, but I'll match the same pattern. and you'll see what happens. See, in art, I don't have to actually give you tests. You're tested all the time. So look, last time I was here, I went under it. Well, what if I don't follow the pattern and I go under, over, just like I did on the row before? And I pull it through, and watch what happens to my weaving when I pull it through. Whoop, it erases, the whole thing erased, because I didn't do opposites. Every row must be an opposite of the row before, or what happens is my warp strings don't get tangled by the weft strings, and they come right out. Whoop, like that. So we need to make sure every row we do the opposite pattern as to what we did the pattern before. So you're now going to weave over, under, over, across your warp strings inside of the rectangle or square that you created. Just going back and forth. One of the things that does happen, you don't want to pull it too tight. You want to make sure that your strings continue to go straight up and down. If you pull it too tight, we have to loosen them up. You are able to fix it, but if you don't pull too tight, then you'll never have that problem. Okay, we just pack it down. I'll show you what happens if it goes too tight. So we'll weave across, and then let's say you pull it really, really tight. So you pull it and you go like that. Well, you can fix it as long as you notice it before too long. And what you do is you just take your needle and you pull the warp strings back to where they belong, where they're straight, parallel. And then you can go back to regular weaving. So you want to go fill up your box or your rectangle with whatever color. Please fill it all in with just one color. And then come back and I'll show you how to fill in the spaces around it. Good luck. Okay, so as you see, I was weaving along my regular weaving now. I finished my box and I went to back down, tied my yarn on to my orange, and I was regular weaving, and I'm coming around to this side, and now I have a problem because look, this purple box is in my way. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dovetail my current string into the box. So I go into the loop for the left bottom row, pull it through, and then what I like to say is the two pieces of yarns shake hands. They like link together like that, and then they go back to where they're coming from. So now I go hello and goodbye, going back where I came from because there's no more warp strings for me over there. So I weave this side, then I flip my board, and on this side I'm just doing regular weaving because nothing's in my way, just straight across, up and down, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, across the board. Pull it through, flip my board. When I get to this side, I'm doing my opposite pattern. This one went over, so under, over, under, over, under, over, and look at this. This is in my way, so I go into the string, into my warp string, link it together, pull, 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 and again they say hello. And now I have no more warp strings, so I need to go back where I came from. Opposite pattern, and back where I came from. Flip my board, weave the back row, opposites again. This time under, over, under, over, under, over. Under, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, pull, 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 pack it down, flip to the other side, and I'll show you one more time. Look here, I went under, so I go over, under, opposite patterns. When I get to the first string, I go in, and then I go back where I came from. So I'm locking it in to the weave where I had the purple. See how they're locking it in? I flip it, continue the other side, come back over here, and it will go an opposite pattern again and into the next row. One linking into and then back where I came from. Once you've finished all the way up to the top of the box, then you just do regular weave all the way around on the front and the back. Good luck!